to the extremely late Toko New Year's podcast. Woo, exciting. Woo, coffee's on the way, we promise. And this year, in celebration of Toko New Year's, we have a second microphone.
I'm really sorry. I did say it might be debatably worth the wait.
Yeah, but we have a second one. After last podcast, I decided just to go and buy one. So,
Yeah, somebody was listening to the video on demand and was like, God, you mumble.
yeah, you mumble a lot. And as much as I want to, this microphone is set up for my other recording and I can't move it.
Nope. So here we are. I'll try not to kill you guys with my typing
Oh,
because
yeah.
it can pick it up.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely pick it up. I keep watching the little thing. I can turn your gain down a little if you want.
The problem is the gain needs to be up for my voice, but the typing, not so much.
Mm-hmm. And then my beautiful microphone doesn't pick up low tones, which is why we've never caught your typing or anything like that, because it's all designed for mid-tones and up, whereas yours needs the full range for your voice. You
I'm so
probably
sorry.
sound different to everybody, actually.
Oh God, oh no, I'm gonna be super self-conscious. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yours is actually going to sound a little different because you have a totally different setup that's more geared towards your voice than mine. And therefore, they were probably losing some of the richness of your voice in previous podcasts.
Richness? Ugh.
It's an audio word, apparently. Look, it's an Eric thing, okay?
Fair enough.
I'm mimicking Eric. Don't pretend I have any of this knowledge. I just spent 30 minutes trying to get two microphones to separate, only to discover they totally were separate the whole time.
Why did you tell them that? I told them that we were fighting a technology hydra that didn't exist in the end.
Isn't that what I just said?
I guess.
It's two microphones. It's doubled. That's a hydra.
Oh, yes, everyone. Tokotas is new.
What?
Praise Kep.
I was going to low-key that.
No, Kep already.
Oh, okay. That's fair. You can see the comments. I can't. I can only see the comments that get posted in the Twitch stream. All right. I think we have vamped enough to give people time to get in.
I think so. We are up to 24 people. That's usually where we kick this off.
Huzzah! All right. Woo! Toko New
And
Year's.
coffee is 2 minutes away.
And the coffee is 2 minutes away. Today did not go as planned. And I will admit to almost considering violence against my husband last night. So you all know we were supposed to have this podcast last Sunday. So let me give you a recap of June has been. We went to Phoenix Fan Fusion. I'm happy to say that because it's not really a secret. Most of you all know roughly where we're located at this point.
And that is our home con. Love it. You'd never find us there anyway.
Yeah. So we were going to that. We were selling our books. We did amazing. We sold 100 books. Technically, but still 100 books. We were the second bestseller in our row. And that is an achievement because the people standing next to us are monsters of the sale and we were only like 30 books behind them. We mean that in a good way. We actually love those guys. Mm-hmm. Can we say their names?
I don't know. We don't usually talk the book stuff on the Toko stuff. I mean, not like in the in-depth details of it all.
But we're just talking about authors that we love. We're not selling anything.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So CL4s and Jason P. Crawford, amazing authors, and we were next to them.
We met them at Strategicon, convinced them to come to Phoenix, and then we got the best booth neighbors for the weekend.
We did, and it was a total accident. And when it was all said and done, they were like, "Do you think they'd let us be next to each other next year?" I was like, "Right." This has been a wild weekend. There were squeaky paws. There was 5 different panels. We had a bunch of people stare at us like we were crazy people, which is fair because, you know, our co-author panel did sound it. But they were like...
All the Toko people are just used to that from us.
Yeah, these are other people who aren't used to us, and it was just wild and wonderful seeing what happened.
You know, finishing your word for you.
Oh, yeah, you did. You finished a word for me. I was having was explaining something, and I was looking for the word individualist because I was talking about Western Eastern storytelling, and I was like, I can't remember the word, and I looked to Dunn, and I was like, what word am I looking for? What is that? And she's like, you are looking for individualist. I'm like, that's right. Western stories, individualist, do this. And later, another author on the panel was just like, what is that? Like, that's not normal. You should not be finished. Like, nobody else knew what word you wanted, and she did. And I was like, yeah, we're very good co-authors. So tons of fun there, but it consumed the entire weekend. And then
We got Toko Open done like the night before we went to do con setup. And then left it in Alcestia and Cray's hands.
Yeah. And they were running at it. And then on Monday, I was a crashed little gremlin on the couch where it's like, leave me alone.
I'm sorry, that
I
was
hate you all.
undignified.
Nobody did anything. I just hated the concept of other people.
Oh, our coffee is here. Be right back.
All right. And then
Whoops, I bumped into shit. Sorry, guys.
it's, I apologize for how entitled and whiny this next part sounds because I feel entitled and whiny about it. Basically, I got the consolation prize last week of floor seats to Ed Sheeran. And yes, I know how entitled and whiny that sounds. Please hear me out. As most of you know, this is my fake accent. I actually sound like this. Born, raised in Scotland, moved to America, did all of that. And as some of you may know, Scotland is in the World Cup. And my family, with the exclusion of me, and like my husband, all got tickets to Scotland versus Haiti in Boston. That's right, if you've been on social media and you've seen all that insanity, my family was absolutely involved in that. But that meant somebody had to watch all the kids, which became me. So I got my sister's Christmas or birthday gift to go see Ed Sheeran while everyone else went to Boston and did that. And I'm very much feeling the FOMO about it in almost every way possible. But that's where we were last weekend. And then my husband accidentally scheduled a seminar to teach swords on the Sunday. So we went from, okay, we're going to fit this into Sunday. My husband's going to come watch the kids to, he's off at a sword seminar. We can't do it. Nobody else is here because everyone else is in Boston at this point. Although I guess on Sunday they were going to the baseball game.
I see you've lost the accent.
Well,
Are you talking about the World Cup?
Barely. Okay, I have not gone into any tangents, I promise. Just that everyone else got to go to Boston, and as entitled as it sounds, my consolation prize was an Ed Sheeran concert. Okay? Which, I will note, started just a few minutes late to coincide with the final time whistle on Scotland and Haiti game.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I did. Just a few minutes late based on that. I was like, I wonder if he was watching the game backstage. So, with that being said, we were busy, very busy last weekend. There were multiple children's. I ended up in charge of all of them, plus all of the dogs. And it was madness. And then my husband scheduled something when he forgot that he'd agreed to do a thing, and he couldn't undo it because people had paid to be there. So the podcast got moved. And then last night he says to me, aren't we going to go look at cars this morning? And I gave him a look proud of, so proud of. And he went, never mind. He's like, we can push that around. Please don't reschedule anything. And I was like, good, because I wasn't going to. So it has been an ordeal of June to get here.
I'm a little confused as to how it's already the 20th.
I know, but we're here and we're going to talk about Toko New Year's. I've missed you all. I wanted my journal up already. I wanted all of the normal things, but this year just didn't happen because that's life. And then if anything, it's just a good lesson to us all. What? You're giving me looks.
We already have a podcast question.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll come and take that in a second. Let me finish my little soapbox. It's just a reminder that in Tokos, as much as we love you and we want you to be here, real life comes first. And that's true for the people at the top of the leadership bowl and the new players. Like this month, real life just had to come before Tokos. So it did. And that meant we're getting stuff a little late. But it also means that you got a couple new extra things that I did because I felt bad / I was feeling spiteful. Look, I don't care what you say. Spite is a temporary but potent power source. Just is what it is. All right, let's do that podcast question, and then I'll get into general updates.
Does it take more effort to use the true Jill voice these days compared to the Americanese?
Honestly, it doesn't take me much effort to do either. At this point, while I like to say my American accent's my fake accent, I'm extremely comfortable in it. I sound native in it. So nobody can tell the difference. Even, okay, that's not fair. Scottish people can get me, but they get me because of my word choice, not because of what I sound like. They'll just stop and they'll be like, how many times did you say right in that sentence? And they'll be like, do you got a grandmother in Scotland or something? And I'll be like, no, friend, I am Scottish. This is just my fake accent. So honestly, it's pretty easy at this point. I can do either of them. I stick to American, and there are reasons. I stick to American because my brain does something called code switching when I move between the two, which means how I speak changes. We all do it. Everybody does this. How you speak to like your grandparents, how you speak to your parents, how you speak to your friends, how you speak to your teachers. That's all just a lower form of code switching. Mine's just a little bigger in the form of I entirely changed the structure. In Scottish, I change the speed at which I speak, and I change the words that I use. It will sound fun for about 10 minutes, and then any of you who are not used to my accent, you gone. You won't understand me. So we're going to stick to American.
And even some of us are like, what do you mean kitchen paper?
Yeah, right. The words change. And while maybe the Togo jargon would remain, I stick to the American for many reasons when I am dealing with a primarily American audience. And I've also learned, well, for me, the easy way, for them, the hard way, that in cultures outside of my own and outside of European that have definitely heard it before, my American accent is easier for them than my Scottish. Okay, cool.
Oh, let me answer this podcast question. Paper towels. Paper towels is the American for kitchen paper.
Oh, yeah. Paper towels. We call it kitchen paper. And if you hear someone from Britain say the board, they mean the countertop. Go grab me that off the board. They mean the countertop. We have a lot of different words in the kitchen, okay? A lot of them. All right. We good to go?
I think we're good.
General updates. All right. This section is actually super small, so we're going to blaze through it. All UTs now have a group-owned rep. Yep. We pulled the trigger on that. We got all of the designs done. They're all out there, I believe. I don't think any of them are left.
They all released this month.
Yep. They all released this month. So all UTs now have a group-owned rep, even if the founder remains player-owned, which means no more UTs are player-blocked. We've done this for a couple reasons. The biggest one being now we can make non-hereditary UTs based on a lot of things. We just got a couple of them really cut us off that we couldn't do it, and it felt weird to leave them out, and we went, so we made this choice.
And the exception list for things like the UT upgrade token just kept getting more complicated, especially for newer players who have no idea the history of UTs.
Correct. And we were like under 6 left by the time we made this decision. So we tried. We talked to people. And as you can see, the vast majority said yes or came to us. So it was just like, these are the last ones. A lot of these people are hard for us to get a hold of. They don't play anymore.
Deactivated.
They've deactivated. Someone is like, well, I think I still talk to them on another site. I'm like, are you sure it's that person? And they're like, no. I'm like, all right, well, that's that. So we made the call. If somebody has an issue with it in the future of those few people, we will talk to them when we get there. All right. So that's what's going on in UTs. Statuses. Verma. I prioritized other things. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that seems to be its life. I wrote, no progress, kill me on the agenda. That's how I feel.
I've updated the adventure system.
That is true. You've done the work on the adventure code.
Yeah, the adventure framework is now there. I just have to wire in my 40 events, which is going to take me a while. Yeah. So that's what's going on there. Forums, trackers, and REs. All of that is coming later, which means I may have a much bigger update than it's in progress. So all of that will be coming later. That is what that is. Yeah, it is. I promised them I'd get it done, Cray, so I have to say something about it.
It's true. We hold to this. Even when we don't have the great updates, we tell you guys.
Okay, so Verma, no real progress. Hopefully it'll move to the top of the priority list. Okay. So that's where we are there. And then for the others, I got more details as we go down. All right. So that's general updates. Cool. I mean, if you have a question, type it, but I don't know what question you would have because I didn't tell you anything. Next, we're gonna get this out of the way quickly because it's gonna sound bigger than it is. We've got some leadership changes, and you're all having a moment of like, wait, are you about to announce retirement? No,
she's not allowed.
I'm not. Calm down. It's not me. I'm just announcing them. Okay? So we have 2 fairly major changes coming. Daff our beloved dad, is going to be stepping back into the role of breeding manager full time. She has decided she doesn't have the time to do the work of a dad. She would like to stay on the team. She's going back to being a breeding manager to ensure that department continues running, but she's giving up her role of being a dad. And Alcestia will be taking her place on the Council of Dads. We try and maintain 3 people on there. It's good for deciding votes. It's good to have differing opinions, especially people who will tell me no and tell me yes, and make sure that everything is good. Because while I plan the future of Tokos for most things, other people have to keep us grounded in the here and the now.
And bluntly, Alcestia is doing
Yeah.
so much of that already.
Alcestia has been doing the work for a while. Now she's getting the title to go with it. So Daff will be stepping back into breeding manager. Alcestia will be coming up. And as is our customs, Tokos is having a peaceful transition of power on this, as it has been for the last, I don't know, so many.
The Tokotna era?
Yeah, the Tokotna era is pretty customary to just be like, hey, I don't have time and I'm done. Cool. Can you give us some time to replace you? Absolutely. And then nice. So you'll see Daff's name start stepping down on some stuff. Alcestia's name starts stepping up on some stuff. There's no drama here. Sorry. Really dramaless. It's just Alcestia's doing the work. Daff doesn't have the time. Made sense. So that's how that'll be rolling. Additionally, we have a fairly large announcement. I think some of you have noticed because she's been around in the chat, but our dear Ree has retired and returned to player life. She was our second biggest coder, possibly our biggest coder this year, in Tokos. And she has to focus on her real life. We will miss her on the admin team.
We already miss you.
Yeah, but she has stepped down into player life. And we don't tell you every time an admin quits, but Ree was so impactful on the game that it felt like you should know that she's gone back to player life to get her.
The acknowledgement, because Ree is responsible for so many of the things that make Tokotna, Alpha Tracker.
Oh, yeah. That was all her. I have never touched it. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to have to learn this. But yeah, so Ree is a step back into player life. She'll be missed on the team. We're glad she's still around in Tokos and we're not having a full and utter burnout where we never get to see her again. But those are our big leadership change announcements that are happening. If you have questions, feel free to type them. But again, this is not drama. Nobody ran Ree out. Ree just said, I'm too busy. I got other stuff going on. I got to step back to player life. And we went, well, you will be missed. And that was that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Ree's here with us on the podcast, so clearly.
Yeah. Okay. So see, told you. There's just not any drama here. Yeah, our leadership changes are boring, but that's how it should be in politics. It should be boring. All right. We good there?
Yes. Oh, we miss you too, Ree.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to slide right into random events. So, Jill and Dunn have taken over random events. As you've just been told, Ree retired. And she put a lot of work into the system. She gave me all the documentation. She gave me all the code. And I have spent some time digging into it to understand where we are. And in many ways, we're further along in things than I thought we were going to be. And in a couple ways, we're a little behind where I thought we would be. Everyone's brain works differently, so Reed just prioritized different things than I did. This is not an issue. I do have a good grasp of what's going on and what needs to be done. I am thinking, as much as I want to work on it for the rest of the year, most likely random events are about to become the December project, where I sit down, focus up, and get it done, which would mean a release in January of 2027. That's kind of what we're looking at. That's just where we are in random events. There is code there. The database tables are there. I can see where we're going. I just have to sit down and do it. It is a fairly beefy system to build. This is another gardening. This is not
small. This is making REs a very robust system.
Right. And there were obviously changes to how things worked. I really like the mechanics of success, failure, and how all of that's going to go. It's really nice. And I'm going to follow through on Ree's vision to have it done. But realistically, I think it will become the December project. I know we all want REs back since Copper's retirement. And yes, we could have done an interim where we opened it and let people do the old style REs. We just decided against training people into a job that wasn't going to exist next year. It didn't feel fair to them, especially when with so many of our other changes, departments are diversifying, right? In Tokos, sometimes we automate what you were doing, but we never fire anybody over it, okay? You don't get laid off. This isn't a corporation. So we just transfer you to another department, and you may bounce around a little bit until you find somewhere that you're happy with. But that's just how we do it. Nobody's ever getting laid off, and we're not gonna hire people to do REs to immediately respect them in a year. That's so mean.
Yeah. Tokos is so big that there's always something to do. And if you are an admin looking for work, I got work for you.
Yeah. You're just not asking the right questions. Okay, so that's where we are in REs. I will pause there and be like, okay, if you have any questions about general, leadership changes, random events, go ahead. Now's your moment. I'm going to take a drink.
Cheers for coffee.
Cheers.
I feel so much better with coffee immediately.
Who killed you? Okay.
Oh no, oh no.
Coffee went through her nose. What did you do? Oh gosh, she had to leave the room. What did you do? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
She says she's fine, but I'm not sure I believe her.
Oh no. So undignified.
Because you did it on the microphone? Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to having microphone in your face for a couple hours.
My nose burns.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I was joking. Turns out I was correct. It did go through your nose. Do you want to tell me what happened? Should I just go look for myself?
Hold on, I'm turning the thing. That's all it took.
Okay.
My eyes are tearing up. Oh no.
Oh, she just hit one of your weak spots, huh? Yeah. Okay. So we got any questions?
Nope.
Okay. That's fair. I didn't expect there to be a lot of questions here. Okay. There we go. So, let's talk about the Toko of the Month revamp. I would like to clarify something that I feel almost a little insane clarifying, but I'm going to clarify it. Did you all know that Tokota of the Month is a popularity contest? That's right. It's a popularity contest. It was from the day of its inception. It continues to be. It was a very low utilized system a couple months ago, and Dan and I were talking about it, and we went in the suggestion box because a bunch of people had dropped suggestions, and they weren't so much suggestions as veiled complaints about it being a popularity contest.
That's not true. We did have some suggestions in there, but they were ones we'd already enacted previously because we went through all the suggestion boxes for this.
All the suggestion boxes. So yes, we'd already enacted those, but some of them, honestly, I'm not naming names. I'm just saying they were veiled complaints. It was a popularity contest, to which I stared at Dunn and went, but Toko of the Month, it functions as a popularity contest. The entire concept is just a popularity contest, right? She goes, yes. I was like, okay, so what's the problem? She goes, it's too much work. And I went, oh.
I think I made you, what was it? Was it May Open?
It might have been May Open.
Where you were like, where I was like, oh, I just have Toko of the Month left. Give me a minute. And then it was like an hour later.
And you were not done.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, I'm done with that. And so we built Toko of the Month in an evening. Get over it. It is how it is. So here we have our new Toko of the Month system. I give you a little thing of like, it is a popularity contest to let you know that it is functioning as designed. If we don't want a popularity contest, cool, but that means we don't have a Toko of the Month. Because it's not Toko of the Month if we randomly generate a random Toko out of the database, right? So we have a new system in play where you have the first half of the month to nominate. Last month we saw like 16 nominations. This month, what does that say? We had about 8 nominated.
Yeah, I did mean to do a nomination and then completely missed it with all the chaos going in our lives.
We had a lot of chaos going. It's fine. So we had about 8 Tokos nominated. That's still more than most of the year combined.
Let me, as the person rolling Toko of the Month since Copper retired, most months were 5 Tokos with 1 nomination each, and me just rolling a dice
Mm-hmm.
because that's
How else do you make the decision? You got to just randomize it among that.
yep.
So we built this new system where the first half of the month is nominations. You can get as many nominations as you want, and we did knock it down to like one image and a 500 character comment. This is just makes it easier for other people to nominate because you don't want to be posting the same image every time. And when there's newer Tokos, maybe they only have like 10 or so images. There's lots of reasons, but we've knocked it down to the requirements to nominate is one image and 500 character or less comment. And all of those get together into one spot so someone can go and look at the nominations and all the things you've put and why in one place to try and keep it easy. We also enacted validation so that you can't nominate someone who's not
Can't nominate
eligible.
yourself.
Can't nominate yourself. Can't nominate someone who's won in the last 6 months.
Yep.
Can't nominate a Toko who's already won. You would be surprised. Half of Dunn's job was just removing ineligible people.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've automated that, and now we're going ahead and you're seeing here a preview, or not a preview, a screenshot of what it looks like in the background. So now for the second half of the month, we have voting open. You get a ballot where you must select a first place, like your first pick, and then you can select up to 4 more. We are doing this in a pointing system. So if you look on here, I've gone ahead and this is as of, I think, last night or yesterday data. I can't remember exactly when I did the screenshot. This is not current to the exact moment, but here's how it worked. We know we had 42 people submit ballots. I can go look at all 42, ensure that they're valid if I need to, and I can see who voted for what. So I can do that. I'm only going to do that if something weird is happening in my data. I have no reason to otherwise, but I can go and check and make sure that things look good. So if someone's like, hey, I don't think my vote came correctly, I can go check. So we have 42 ballots in. Not everybody votes for every place. Actually, plenty of people just vote first and move on, and that's okay. That's okay. This is a ranked voting system. Basically, your first pick gets 5 points, your second gets 4, your third gets 3, and so on, right? And right here, you can see how many people have voted at first through 5th. And I will say that last month, that person didn't get all the most first place votes, but they had so many like second votes and third votes that it made up for the fact the other competitor, because we were neck and neck.
Oh, that was switching every day because we were babysitting it hardcore to make sure it was working correctly. And every day that was first place was trading.
It was trading back and forth. It could be by the hour at some points. Anytime there was a rush of voting, we just watched it go back and forth. So in that situation, while the other Toko got more first places, combined, the first Toko just got significantly more votes across all of the spectrums. So this is a good thing. This means that things with widespread support, not just always the one thing you voted for, because in the previous system you basically got one vote and you had to do a nomination to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is how the voting works. We've gone ahead and shown you the top 3, what it looks like, the point value, who is currently winning, and then at the end of the month, when we close the voting and the winner is locked in, we have automated tools that do all the work of putting the FP in, moving this Toko, doing this, putting it in a list. And we're pretty happy with that in general.
My job is now just going and updating the front page totem art mostly.
Yeah, you just go and do the update. So this is the new Toko of the Month system. We went through a month with it. I wanted you all to feel what it was like. And now we're into our second month. And I did not expect our second month to have as many nominations as our first month, because new system is always going to have a little bit of a flashbang.
But even this is more participation in the system than we got in the entirety of last year.
Right. If your contribution to Toko of the Month is to go in and vote on the 15th when we say, hey, it's switched over, thank you. Right? This is far more representative of our player base at this point in time, and we're pretty happy with that. Does anyone have any questions about Toko of the Month? Now that I've cleaned up that it is absolutely a popularity contest. And this is how our new scoring is going to work going forward. I'm happy with the results. That doesn't mean it'll never change. It just means currently I'm pretty happy with the changes, and it's cleaned up a ton of work on the admin side to keep Toko of the Month going.
On that, Furion, I am looking at going to update our Dinobot with automated reminders for when nominations open, which is usually the 4th or the 5th, when we switch over on the 15th, and then a reminder before close.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to go deal with writing out the rules for when the thing will go into Daily Bark.
Yeah, because there is still a human behind opening and closing it. But the amount of work is still significantly brought down because we had a lot of people beat the crap out of it before we put it up for like eligibility. And it held pretty good. They still found things, which is what we would expect. And I feel pretty good about it being like patched correctly, that you can't put someone who's not eligible, which then allows the person who's switching it over to not have to do the eligibility checks, just run through the nominations and make sure nobody's put anything inappropriate.
Yep. All right. That wasn't technically a question. That was in chatter. But we don't got anything going in questions either.
They're saving their questions for the big stuff. They know
What
something
is the big
big is
stuff
coming.
In this?
You,
We're 30 minutes in and they have no idea what our main topic is still. This is great.
yeah, well, I am what I am. All right, well, if you all have no questions, let's move on to the next big announcement. So this is the first big new thing that we're going to talk about.
My nose still hurts, God.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just minty.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Oh man, that was almost nasty.
Whew.
No, you have no idea. I almost put one of my biggest spoilers next. I almost missed it.
You argued and argued to get your spoilers last night, and I only conceded on very specific terms, and you almost broke them. I swear, I'm going to go to Alcestia.
You can go to Alcestia if you want. Something tells me she's going to side with me. Look, they both started with FO.
Okay, so what you're telling me is I now need to number the slides so they pop into numeric order for you in OBS?
I mean...
Yes, okay, I got it. I will put that on my list.
They both start with FO. I caught it. We're talking about forms now. And then they're like, what does that mean? You'll see it when we get there, okay? You'll see it when we get there. So, Forms 2.0 is coming in July. I know I've been talking about a form rebuild for a while. It's real. It's happening. As of right now, we have fully finished the breeding and activity and PvP forms. Yes, the PvP forms. Turns out, CEs is nuts. Love you, Kex, but they're nuts. And they have a lot of bonuses and a lot of conditionals. And I have the PvP form working, which also has a new PvP roller. So when you do your new forms, do I have a screenshot of that?
Yes, it's the second one.
Okay. So this one right here. Oh, no, this first one's PvP.
Yeah, no, but then the generated is the second screenshot.
So as you can see on here, you no longer have a list of all your forms generated all the time. This is designed to cut down on the load and allow me to do more with your forms. So as you look on here, so this person has picked competitions. They have said, is that include
Tribe mates?
Tribe mates, they've said no. They've said, hey, it's a PvP. I'm doing the safest. They've got their options for the role companions because you can only apply one. Which one do you want to use? There will be some minor changes coming to these role companions to work for this. You'll see. And then consumables. We will not be using consumables across multiple things. The consumables will be set going forward. So all of like the nail caps and such, they're going back to CEs and they're staying out of PvP. But these are consumables that you can select, and then you'll generate, and we'll kick you out a form. And this is true of breeding, and this means that you can make selections on your breedings for, like, I think currently we have, like, breeding. I only want breeding traits. I only want UT traits. I only want breeding and UT traits, and everything else throw off. Those will get upgraded with time as we need it, but that should generate you the form that you need. And activities will be working the same, meaning you'll be able to use consumables in activities and put them on the form, right? Very cool. I know.
I realized I should have probably highlighted the core chunk of the core change here in this form with competition code. Sorry, it's buried in the middle.
I'll get there. So in this one, you'll see that they're wild forms. But we have all the bonuses. They do list out the same way you would expect them in the activity forms. Now, I'm not sad about this. I think that standardization is nice. We'll all get used to it, especially since it will be generated for us. And there are two major changes in here. One, the competition code. We are building a set of competition rollers. PvP is the first one that I have done. I have a laundry list of changes that need to be done for July, but it is releasing in July. And it will use this competition code. I know it looks a little small. Many of the things on your Toko will be auto-applied in the competition or the PvP roller, but variables will show up on that list. The admins will just drop the link and the code into the roller, and then away we go. It will significantly speed up the competitions roller. They have like 30 steps per thing. This will alleviate a ton of them. Secondly, you'll see that the activity code is now on here. So the activity code, it's Red Panda and Tiger Totem, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So the activity code will be there if you have a role companion, if you have the Tiger Totem, or if you have the Red Panda Totem, you'll be able to, say this correctly, if you have an activity companion, you'll be able to select it, and then it'll say what activity it is, and it'll output the code. If Red Panda is there, it'll allow you to use all the bonuses, and it'll automatically apply them to your code. If you don't have Red Panda, it'll just give you the basic code. This is to help speed up the work for, for competition rollers. I do think right now they make you go do that activity code for them, but I know it gets complicated because you're not actually using all your bonuses. But now this will auto-generate it for you. And Tiger Totem is changing to allow you to use any of the basic companions without having them equipped. So that would be like the fishing roll, the hunting roll, the exploring roll. No caving, no diving, nothing like that. But Tiger Totem, rather than being completely random, will allow you to pick between one of the basic activities when you're generating the form. And you'll see Tiger Totem listed on there as well. And Red Panda obviously still affects that. So those are changes that are coming to accommodate the new way we're doing forms. And then there will be obviously a PvP roller to deal with that, which meant, I think it's over here, which meant I could then move career trackers onto Tokotas, because that was one of the biggest things about it. How do we deal with putting those entries in that doesn't create even more work for the CE rollers? So we just had to do a ton of work to get there. This is what we promised at the last featured fight. So last August we did a featured fight. Activities 1, I believe. Mm-hmm. But everybody wanted career trackers out of that.
Yes, that was the ultimate takeaway there.
And I went, okay, fair enough. So to get us there required a lot of work, and I don't know if I explained it really well. It required me to automate their forms. It required me to automate their output, which meant everything always looked the same. And it needed to be on Tokotas to automate the adding to the tracker. Activity rollers do not go to a separate screen and add your activity rolls. There's these fun little APIs that run between two different websites to make it happen. They have to do a bunch of validation to be like logged in and validated into the activity roller to send things. Then they have to do like another check before they send things along. It gets rolled and then it gets saved. And they don't do that. There's no edit screens for them to go to. They have to use the activity roller. It's already a whole thing. So that's going on over there. We needed a similar way over here in CEs, which required us to finish the forms, which required us to build a competition roller, which then requires here. So things will be moving onto the career tracker throughout the rest of the year. PvP went first because it is the most complicated. CEs will be going next. Brawl and TVT will follow after.
Well, Brawl might actually be the next target because it already has a partial roller thanks to Ree, so it might be quicker for you.
Maybe. That roller keeps nothing in memory.
Oh, point. Well, we'll figure it out. But yeah. Brawl is smaller scale than competitions, or CEs, so.
Yes, it just deals with 6 people in a go. So yes, those things will be coming. We have the new forms. We have the new competition trackers. Those will all be releasing in July, and I'll just keep working on getting more and more of the CE stuff. So for a little while, you will be living between two competition trackers. The one that CE's, Brawl, and TVT posts to in July, and the new one that's on here that'll allow you to do some searching, some filtering. Images will be on here. I just, for the sake of testing, I didn't make my testers put the image links in.
We're also still finalizing the output on it and how styled it'll be.
Exactly. We're also finalizing it. Right now, it's very much debuggy looking text, but I'm sure when all is said and done, CEs will be like, okay, please output it in this format, and that's what I'll adhere to. Okay? So those are coming. Happy Toko New Year's. We got through Featured Fight, and that's what we're going to do.
Questions, or are you going to kick off the raffle first?
Well, let me go ahead and kick off the raffle and then ask for questions. If you've got questions, feel free to start typing them. I'm going to kick off the raffle as well because it plays into this. So last year we did our first Featured Fight. If you don't know what that means, there's things like feature refinement that happen in the land of programming where you'll have a backlog prioritization. And lots of companies do this. Like Salesforce opens it up every 3 or 4 years, and their clients come in and start being like, this one, right? Trying to push it to the top of the list so that it ends up on the development lifecycle. We did something similar to it last year in Featured Fight, where we picked a bunch of departments and we said, okay, tell us which one of these you want us to prioritize a feature for. I should have known activities was going to win, but it is what it is. That being said, we're going to do it again this August. And for our raffle, we would like you to tell us what departments you'd like to see in Featured Fight. That being said, activities won last year, so it will not be eligible this year. All right? We will be doing 3 to 4 different departments. So go over to raffle, tell me who you'd like to see in the Featured Fight, and we'll go from there. And this year I'll do a better job of putting up example features for what we could talk about doing if this department wins, right? Because it'll just get a dedicated chunk of my attention to build something for it. Okay. Questions?
All right. Will CE consumables still be usable on AOAs? I think that will still remain. SAF didn't need them independent.
Yeah, I'm also not building forms for that. So as of right now, there will be no changes to that. SAF has not come to me and said, hey, can you make an AOA form?
Yep. Will the consumables section for forms show if you have them in your bank?
I hadn't really intended to do it because you can build a form without them in your bank and then go buy them. So I hadn't really intended to do it because it required me to hook into your bank. But I'll consider it.
We are trying to get the strain off that page. Part of the reason for this all is, as the entire internet knows, and you guys especially know from last fall, AI bot traffic has overtaken human traffic on the internet, which is severely impacting smaller sites like ours.
It is.
And Forms is a huge page that they love to hit.
Exactly. And Forms is a heavy load on our database. This is designed to make it less of a thing. Though if we're doing it this way, the AI bots will hit the forms and then nothing will happen.
Yep. Okay. Will CE consumables being gone in PvP lower the max possible score for PvP entry? I don't think so because Kex is getting us a list of PvP specific consumables that we'll be looking at adding.
Yeah, but also even if you don't use them, you can still hit the maximum.
True.
There's a lot of PvP. Okay. I've spent a month in this. There's a lot of PvP bonuses, like a lot of them, and they're all very conditional, but there's absolutely ways for you to hit that. And then Elephant comes in that allow you to do like another 5. So right now in PvP, those 5 bonuses, they pick 2 of them randomly and say you can use it this round. We're putting an end to that. That is the thing that makes it not friendly. So I wouldn't fuss too much about that. You can still hit the 50 without them.
Sorry, I'm just watching the raffle go.
Yeah.
It'll be hilarious when you get to it later.
Well.
Okay, last one. Will first place for CE then be automatically updated the same way a successful AR is for POTA? Yes and no. No in the form that it already does this because it reads the award off the Toko.
Yeah.
But the roller updates will automatically be applying things. I don't think we're automatically applying trophies still from the roller, but we'll figure that out.
So if everything goes okay, so we're talking PvP, right?
The question was CEs, but we
Oh,
are
okay.
yeah.
So when we get to CEs, yeah, I'm just gonna okay. When PvPs is done, the reality is they're gonna hit the button and say, okay, this looks good, apply it. The the injuries are gonna apply. The items are gonna go into the database, and the entries are gonna show up on the competition tracker, and the admin is done. Other than moving images into folders. When we get to CEs, it's going to apply the awards to the walls. It's going to, I don't think there's injuries in CEs. It's going to remove anything from the database that it needs to remove, and the CE admin is done after it posts on the competition trackers. Like, the reality is the roller should do everything. And already, right now, if you have an award on your Toko, it's automatically pulled onto your POTA stuff.
Talking about that in PvP, the only reason that, because there is if you savvy Tokopedia people will go look, PvP win exists as a Tokopedia entry because we talked about adding and incrementing them on Tokos in the past. With the roller, when you get to the end, we can see about if we want to start doing that.
I think you're going to have a hard time convincing me to go through and do it when we get to the end of these competition stuff. You better shot next year.
Fair enough.
I'm going to be so sick of competition code when I'm done with this. Any other questions?
Nope, I think that looks like all of them.
Dang, okay.
Everyone's chanting breeding in raffles, by the way.
Breeding was on the list last year.
I know, but activities was more popular than breeding. I think featured fight is just slowly revealing the hierarchy of the departments.
Well, that's fine. I'll just build them a build calculator. We have a main calculator. I'll just build them a build calculator. That's a new feature.
You should maybe wait until after the other section for that, though.
You say it like I wasn't hyping them for that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so that's probably what I'll do. I guess I'm trying to think what other.
Oh no,
what?
DC's crying in the corner. We would be nowhere without DC. Let's be real.
DC's crying attention. They I think they have FOMO every time another department gets my attention, and the things that I hate other departments. No offense, guys. Like I do your work and then go, this is miserable. I'm never doing this again.
Okay, Cray, we're gonna put Jill through DC training this time for real.
It's not gonna happen.
You
I
and
refuse.
me, we can do this.
I refuse. I will not do DC training. I will claim colorblindness.
Jeez.
Tone deaf and colorblind, yet somehow an artist. What?
Oh God, Ria's agreeing with you.
See? She gets it. We're the wrong type of creatives.
That's a Toko. Looks great. That is exactly how Kitsu DC went for us for a while.
It was. I used to be in charge of Kitsu DC, and we all saw how that went. I don't know why you'd want me here. Because, okay.
No, Cray.
I know. I recall. I feel like it needs to be a question on your application at this point. Are you colorblind? Because the amount of colorblind DC admins we've had is shocking.
Oh my gosh.
It's more than one. And we always find out because it's just someone who's really struggling with certain things. And I'll be like, are they colorblind? And Cray will go ask, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I am. And we're like, why are you in DC, love? Let us find you somewhere else to be.
Hey, some of our best DCers were colorblind, though, because they checked the values and stuff. It was great.
Mm-hmm. They had to. They had no options. That being said,
Sorry.
Cray, if you got me to do DC and I came in, all you would do is create yourself a headache because I would go to war over things I think are dumb.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have authority with me to be like, but that's the way it is. I'll be like, that's a terrible answer. I don't accept that's the way it is as why something is that way. Don't try and use tradition on me. I'll be like, nah, I change things I don't like.
Okay, so stay with me, everybody. Let's start chanting Cray versus Jill Dad Civil War 2027.
Nope, I just let that be Cray's domain. I stay out of it. I offer my opinion when asked about certain things, but even then, for Show Your Heart, and we were sorting out what new markings and stuff, I was like, your choice. You tell me what you want, Cray. I'm not going to get involved. Just tell me you've made your decisions.
Did you just...
Yes, I did.
I approved a certain set amount of spoilers.
And I've done like double that. Look, you had to go get coffee at some point. Did I absolutely pull more splash screens in after you went to get coffee? I absolutely did.
No.
Yes, I did. I just didn't say anything so they wouldn't rat me out when you got back. I know what you're all like.
They don't rat you out.
No, most of them don't.
The hype rats you out.
A handful of them do it by accident. So they heard my click, 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 click as I pulled in 4, maybe 5 new splash screens. I am what I am. Yeah, it's the anniversary. See?
I guess.
Listen to his Lua. It's the anniversary. Right. So we are, prepared.
Yep.
For Show Your Heart. Is it 2 or 3 things? I think it's 2.
God.
It's 2, right?
Why are you making me confirm? I can neither confirm nor deny that
Because
there are
if
multiple Show Your Heart things this year.
Okay. If you don't tell me how many it is, I might say something insane like it's 3 things, at which point we are held to that like it was a law. So you should tell me if there was 2 or 3 things hidden in Show Your Heart right now.
There are 2 things hidden in Show Your Heart right now.
Okay, there are 2 things in Show Your Heart right now. One of them's a marking.
Jill!
What? I already confirmed that earlier.
What? Did you?
Yeah, you gave me crap for it on the microphone.
Oh my God.
Also,
I'm just going to stop. I'm digging this hole deeper.
Also, if you haven't noticed today, I've been very, very careful about not swearing because I have been watching Scottish football and it's an endeavor right now to even remember the American swear words. Never mind, not use them.
Oh yeah, Dear Tav was like, that's a bad word.
And I was like, you are correct. Don't say that. Yesterday was a rough day.
It's okay.
I watched the game in Spanish. It was a whole thing. I had access to it in Spanish. Scotland versus Morocco. I have feelings about that referee, and I don't usually have feelings about sports ball, but I have feelings about that referee.
No World Cup on the podcast. Stop it.
So many feelings.
No World Cup unless it's positive World Cup, but even then, no World Cup.
I mean, if you want positive World Cup, I have things.
I mean, Mexico, South Korea bromance. Bromance of the fucking millennium.
Right? All right, I'm going to go ahead and say 5 minutes on the raffle, and then I'm going to fill you with fun, wholesome facts.
Stop it.
Wholesome facts.
I have put up with your World Cup tangents 3 times in the past 24 hours.
Yeah, because we hung out with new people like 3 times in the past 24 hours.
Don't do this to them.
You don't think they want to hear about Algeria? Or Cabo Verde?
I think everybody's probably here for Toko things, and you have a big section still to go.
I know, but I can't move on until the raffle's done. Affected by the raffle in the next section.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Yeah.
Ibby has just reminded me that, no, all of our EU players are here. They do care.
They do care, okay? And I'm here. And I can tell you the crazy things, because I know the crazy things. All right, so you prepared to close that raffle in like the next 4 minutes?
4 minutes?
Well, I said 5, but I assumed that was a minute ago.
Okay, when are we closing it? So like at 12:10?
Yeah, 12:10.
Okay.
So we're going to hit some highlights of fun World Cup things. They are fun. Don's just sick of listening to them.
I do love the World Cup shenanigans. I have engaged with your family's tournament this year.
That's a word for it. She's being very polite.
I did my How is he in here?
Magic. Hi, Caesar.
What's up?
Yeah?
Are you concerned?
No. He just heard us and came to say hi. Hello, pretty boy. Bye, pretty boy.
Done with us, apparently.
All right, and there's the Caesar cameo.
Like clockwork.
Yep. Done, close the door.
I'm going to go double check that the door is closed.
Mm-hmm. All right, which one do you want me to tell them about? They only have time for like one fun fact.
I don't know.
Kansas? Okay. So, Lawrence, Kansas. For those of you who are not in the United States, we call this a flyover state because people just fly over it. There is nothing there. There are very few people in these states. And Lawrence, Kansas is the home base of the Algerian team. What does that mean for the non-soccer people, football people, is this is where they go back to between games. This is where they do their practices. And so all 48 teams have a home base across Canada, Mexico, and the United States. Kansas has England and Algeria and two other teams that I'm forgetting right now. England's had their own adventure. Whew. England's had their own adventure. It's been wild for them. So Algeria showed up. And they arrived late in the middle of the night. They got on their buses, they went to their hotels, and when they got to their hotels, there were just people lining the streets cheering for them, and they had no idea what was going on because they didn't think anybody in Lawrence, Kansas knew where Algeria was. And you know what? They were probably correct until about a week prior to the World Cup. And to support them, because they'd picked this town as their home base, they went to their college football field and they carved the Algerian flag into their field. They colored it, they cut it, they did everything so that it was a big old Algerian flag for the team, which again, they were very confused about. And they got their college band to learn the Algerian national anthem for these men. So as they went to their first practice, the band showed up and started playing their anthem. And there is a video of just them walking, realizing what's being played, and about half of them just stopping and staring in utter confusion. Why? Because they did not expect Lawrence, Kansas to welcome them with open arms, including their anthem, their flag. Half of these men do not speak English and have a translator, but they're down for this. So they decided they would just open their practices to the public. So the public of Lawrence, Kansas got to come into World Cup practices and run drills with the kids and just was like, we're playing Argentina. We're never winning this first match. We might as well have fun. So now there's a bromance starting between the people of Kansas and Algeria. And that should warm your heart because that's what proper diplomacy looks like. That's what it looks like. South Korea and Mexico, they're going to get best friends forever tattoos by the time this is done. They are having a blast with each other. They played, and it was a little bit like a K-drama because it was Mexico versus South Korea. And they were both like, I'm still going to love you on the other side of this. And you know what? They did. They did. Mexico scored once. They did not attempt to score again. They kind of did, but they didn't really if you were watching that game. And the game ended 1-0, and they're still best friends forever. They just drank tequila instead of soju that night.
Okay, it's 12:10. I'm closing
Perfect.
the raffle.
There we go. See, 2 harmless, heartwarming stories of diplomacy.
All right, we have 30 entries. How many am I rolling and what is being raffled?
Oh, yeah, I should have thought about that. Give me 2. And let's do a platinum starter slot. It's Toko New Years.
All right, so 2 platinum.
You know what? Aurorium. It's Toko New Years.
Oh, okay. 2D30, please. Where's my channel?
Okay.
Do not go back into World Cup stuff.
I'm not. I was waiting for you to give me the answers.
Oh, these will be easy to count.
I'm vamping for time, okay?
Vamp.
I am vamping for time. I'm not going to take them through the entire history of how we have no national anthem in Scotland.
Do not to these poor Toko people.
But we don't.
I say this like I am somehow not part of this chaos. There you go.
Okay. So, congratulations to Weissel and Burke. You get an Alrighty. Let's move on to the thing that you're all here for. Some of you know you're here for it, and some of you don't. This is the biggest announcement of 2026.
I made her hold the anniversary journal until after the podcast because I was like, you can't put these up until we're done with the podcast.
I am announcing the next phase of builds. We have planned 9 new Toko builds. This is affectionately dubbed the Wild Circle because we are expanding beyond just canines even more than we currently have. Yes, that's right. 9 new builds are coming. And this is my updated breeding chart where I show you what I have planned. Each of the 3 build groups, Hefty, Modest, and Tiny, are getting 3 builds to go with them. There will be a major change coming to breeding compatibility and how that's going to go, which I'll go over really quick now that we're staring at this. So I believe red is Tiny. I can't read.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Red is your Tiny. Yellow is your Modest. Blue is your Hefty.
Okay, so if we look up here in red, You'll see the 3 builds that we all already know, the Sanaka, the Toki, and the Hara. And you'll see a new one on there called Lutavi. I think we've announced that one's name, and you've seen sketches of it before, but we're going to go over it a little bit more shortly. So those are all tiny. You'll see there's 2 more in that circle. Everything in the tiny build group will be breedable with everything in the tiny build group, plus standard Tokotas. And that's going to be true of all the build groups. So that means modest down at the bottom, those will all be breedable with each other, and Tokos, and the blue one, which is hefty, those will all be breedable with each other and Tokotas. That includes Akotas. Akota's special caseness is going away. There will be no more special case for Akotas. Akotas can breed with Tokotas, and that'll be that. Additionally, the Akota Dyer creating Dakinos will likely be going away. We needed it as a way to create Dakinos up front because the concept of the modest group was very fresh and it didn't have anything to breed with it. And then Makatas came and Odos came and we got there, but we no longer need it. We're going to standardize the breeding just a little further, and so you will be able to breed with everything inside of your build group and Tokotas. Okay? That's how it's going to work in this new system. So this is what our build chart looks like with some breeding compatibility. We'll obviously have we'll have chart updates on Tokotne when we get there. All right? So 9 new builds, change to how breeding's going to work, and this is the plan. And I have concepting out for all 9 of these builds. We're going to go through what we can of them right now, but this is the big announcement. And this is going to get a little wild, okay? It's going to get a little wild. Oh gosh, let me see.
Oh man.
Where should I go next? There's so much here.
You've got your second bullet point hard.
Oh yeah. I'm going to get to my second bullet point in a moment. So before we look at anything, I'll do some disclaimers. Let me start with, these did not come out of nowhere. I put a contest in over a year ago for build, mains, all that sort of stuff. And I looked at it the day it closed, and I let it sit in my head for a month, and I came back a month later, and I looked at it, and I came back a month later, and I looked at it, and I went back to it multiple times, looking at everything that people had suggested, submitted, and I spent months letting it sit in my brain until finally in January, well, I guess technically December. In December, one of my December projects that I didn't announce was making the plans for the new builds. And I said, I'm going to build 9. And Dunn said that was crazy, but, it is a little.
I thought 3 was too few. 6 probably fine. 9 was unhinged.
Yeah, but here we are. So I picked 9. I decided to put it on to this. I concepted them out, and we're going to talk about my concepts because I do feel a need to explain some of my thought process to people. I took these to dads and I took these to managers, and the wildest thing was actually them just being like, so how are you going to make it work? Not, I don't think you should do this. I think that's too wild. I think that's a crazy idea. They were very much focused on how are you going to make this work, which was great because then it made me sit down and do the breeding compatibility. So let me be clear. If you thought that was me giving you crap, managers, no, you made me sit, you made me think it through. And this is how the new chart came into existence versus my old chart that just had all of them on there. So here it is. You're used to my crazy? That's kind of true. So, and I walked them through how I made decisions. There were some questions on why is this hefty versus modest? Why is this? And we walked through all of those, and it was pretty good. But we're going to do that again with you all. I feel much more confident in my plan now than I was when I went to them. But this is the future. This is probably like a 6 or 7 year plan.
There's 9 of them, easily 6-7 years.
Exactly. So it's like a 6 or 7 year plan because Tokos does think that far in advance when we're doing this. Rather than just ad hoc coming up with a build every now and then, we set a future plan in motion, And we do the same thing with mains. We're almost done with our main plan. We're a little behind where we wanted to be on our main plan, but
But I think lines for all of them are done at this point.
yeah. Yeah, I have them all. I just now have to release them, but I can't just drop 3 in a go.
Yeah.
Okay? So once those are released, or we at least got like 1 left, I'll start looking at the future of mains as well. Because if a game stops growing, it stops thriving. Okay. What?
Everyone's just going 6-7.
You're all 6-year-olds. How do I know? Because I spent last weekend with a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old.
That's fine. I've got the best response every time he 6-7s. Just say 2 other random numbers back at him. And he's like, that's not correct.
He does hate it. It's true.
It's delightful.
Okay. So, for Toko New Year's, got the finished concepts. Well, no, the finished lines for 3 of my builds in the form of Gnat and Sphinx. Sphinx is used for building all of the mains, and then Gnat is obviously our standard. So I have both of those for 3 of our upcoming builds. Before I show them to you, I want to do some shout outs and some reminders, okay? Tina graciously made all of these for us. She did 6 sets of lines prior to this podcast, and we had to go through revisions. We had to do this, we had to do that, we had to change. People worked very hard to create these concepts for them. Don't be a dick, okay? Starting off with, the builds are going to get progressively more wild and experimental as I show them to you, including when I show you a list of the other 6 ideas. Okay? Yeah.
Oh, the anxiety is just spiking right now.
Okay. They are going to get more experimental. We are branching out beyond a
Quadrupedal canine.
Now, keep in mind, for Tokotas, what you need to remember is these are Tokotas with X features. Okay? So a Tokara is a Toko with hyena features. Right?
Makata's Toko with Wolverine
features. Yes, exactly. Yes. So that's true of all of these. It is not a Wolverine with Toko features. There is a difference. All right? So, they're going to get more wild and more experimental as we go.
You will have big emotions to these.
I'm going to remind you all how we talk about each other's art. If you don't like a build or you don't like a main, that's absolutely okay. Not every build and not every main is for every person. But don't be a dick. People put a lot of time and effort into this. And if you don't like it, that's okay. But do not sit on this podcast and be like, well, that's ugly. I will eject you from the podcast. We do this in the admin team all the time, where I will bring them new art, new this, new that. Some things more controversial is not the right word, but impactful maybe than others. And if somebody utters the words, well, that's ugly, they will get fired. I'm not kidding. I don't play around with that. People put a lot of effort into this. You can think something is not your style. You cannot like it because of X, Y, and Z. But do not sit there and trash somebody's art. We are in an art game. I will eject you from the podcast.
And there is some surprise and chatter right now that this has to be emphasized. And it is unfortunate. We have grown a lot as a community, but we say this because this happened to Silky Mane and this happened to Rough Mane, to the point that Rough Mane had to be redone because the artist was so unhappy. So we don't want any of our artists who put lots of time and effort into making this game fun for us all to ever feel that way.
Yes. We are not going to have a Lines 2.0 situation ever again. All right? We're just not going to do it. For those of you who are like, what was the Lines 2.0? They tried to do, I say they in a very vague format because it was previous leadership, tried to do a refresh of the standard lines.
Show the second eye, adjust the, perspective.
Get it, cleaned up. And the player base was trash to them. I'm not saying specifically you. In fact, many of you probably said nothing to them.
The fact that you all are like, this happened, means it wasn't you.
It wasn't you. But the player base was terrible to them. Truly horrible, to the point we lost people on the admin team. And I don't blame them. If someone had spoken about something I built that way, I would have felt it. So Since my leadership came in, I am real clear that I don't put up with that. We don't trash talk each other's art. In fact, there's a very clear rule in the admin team that if you don't like something, you need to give me a reason. I will accept there's something off about this that I don't like, and I'm trying to find words for it, and I'll let you know as soon as I find them. That's okay. But do not sit there and be like, well, that's ugly. All right? And I'm emphasizing this up front because, as Dunn said earlier, you are likely going to feel big feelings about the art I'm going to show you, both positive and negative. And that's okay. You're not a bad person for having a big negative reaction to it. Let me be real clear. You are not a bad person for looking at this and going, I don't like that. That's all right. Absolutely fine. We are sharing these with you now, not on release day, so that you have time to process that feeling, right? You care so much about Tokos, you're going to have feelings, and now you have time to process them and decide if it's really that big of a deal, or maybe it grows on you, or maybe it doesn't, and that build's not for you, and that's okay too. We are going to open a feedback form for the new builds, but not today. I want you to sit with it for a few days. Yes, the spoilers will be on the anniversary journal and all of that. Like, that's fine.
You'll be able to look at them without coming back into the podcast.
Absolutely. I'll get that journal up as soon as I finish my homework today. I know I sound like a college student. I'm so close to being done with this stuff. At least getting a good break. So, like, they'll be there for you to see. You can absolutely discuss them with people in chat. That is not an issue. But the official feedback will be like 3, 4, maybe even 5 days out to give you time. And the reason I'm giving you time is because I too had feelings when I saw them.
One of these is a thing that you don't particularly like, and we'll talk about it when we get there.
We'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah.
But not that you don't like the build, just how we got here.
I don't like how we got here, but it's okay. Not every build is for every person, and that includes me. If every build was to my taste, the game would look very different. So I also had big feelings when I looked at them. I also had to take a couple days to process, to talk to people, to sort it out, and then come to a pretty happy place with all of them. That's why the feedback thread is not going up. Because these are so far from our standard, we're giving you the disclaimer, we're reminding you not to be a dick, and we also know that that means that all of you will properly align our community who are not here when they see them to make sure that they are also not a dick. Okay. And yeah. All right. Cool. Here we go. Let me see. What's my first one? So we're starting it off easy. Meet the Lutavi. So Lutavi is going to be our first of the new tiny builds. I have the gnat and I have the sphinx for it. This is an otter-based Toko. They were extremely popular like 6 years ago when we did the first build contest.
It was just a touch too...
It was just a touch too far from K9. That's why Sanaka won that round. And Hara had already been finished by the time that contest went up. So... this is the Lutavi. What did we say? Are they silly?
They're silly. They're lively.
Yes, they're silly and they're lively. Every build always has like a word associated with them. Like Haras are spacey and Dakinos are sweet. And Lutavis are silly. They're a silly build. And that's what we based them off of as we put them together and we gave them names. We suspect these will probably end up being called Tavis or something like that. It'll be fine. We're happy with it. So this is the Lutavi. It's adorable. Look at that tail, that gigantic tail. And they have webbed toes. You can't see it super well in this particular one, but they totally have webbed toes. So they're little swimmers. Let me actually switch over to the Sphinx so you can see it a little better. So here's the Sphinx where it really looks like an otter. A Toko with otter features. I am so happy with how this came out. I really am. It's almost line for line the original concept. So 5, 6 years ago, the first contest, I do believe Daft put this in the first time.
Maybe, or she might have put that. I've got them all saved in the folder. I just need to go figure out.
I think Daft put it in the first time, and Cray did the raccoon in that first contest.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them were good, but they were just a step too far. So this time around, as we are taking that wilder step, we've gone ahead and we've pulled the otter into our rotation. We had a really, really detailed sketch from Daff, which then was given off to Tina, and she put these together for us. This one went really easy. We made a few decisions about webbed toes and tails. As you can see, they have big otter-like tails, even when they're sphinx or fuzzy, and they are adorable. And they will be joining our tiny group, meaning they will be breedable with Tokis, Haras, and Sanakas, and standard Tokos, plus the 2 other ones we will speak about. So as we're all staring at the Lutavi and in a good mood, is anyone typed any questions yet?
Nothing so far.
That's fair. I didn't really give them anything to type questions on, per se, but if you have questions, feel free to start typing them. I'm gonna look at it. We can't do teacups, okay?
They're just too tiny.
I see it popping up. Let me address teacups again. So, teacup has been something that has shown up every single conversation about builds since I took control, and even before that. People want teacup Tokis, teacup Tokotas. The reality is they're just not.
Teacup Tokotas are called Taquinos.
Yeah, kind of. Just Taquinos. But when people are showing it to me, and we had a knockout fight about this, and I do say fight, because basically I set my feet down and said, okay, you have 24 hours. Change my mind. I'm going to try and be open-minded about this. Show me your sketches. Give me your ideas. Convince me that this is a good idea. And the admin team came out and forced to do so. But when all was said and done, I won. Because teacups do not have enough space to design on them. I saw the sizes that they wanted them to be. And I went, okay, so how are you going to do a genobomb on that? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And we went through it all. And reality was they were just asking for a super tiny Akota. And I was like, well, that's just an Akota, but small. And the same for Tokis. They're just asking for a super tiny one. I'm like, these look more like companion sized than Toko sized. And in that conversation, Daff came up with the Takino. And she dropped it. And I went, well, I kind of feel like that fits a need now, doesn't it? She smashed that out in like 2 weeks. It was wild how fast she got them done. All of the mains. And then the physical traits. And then she's like, I'm never doing that again. It's like, yeah, that's fair. Higher multipliers for the physical traits. So yes, no, we're not doing teacups. And we're never going to do teacups because they just aren't big enough to function in the game. Okay. Cool. Any other questions?
We have 2 questions. One's Lutavi specific, one's kind of general. Do you want me to just do the Lutavi one for the moment?
We can do both.
Okay. Will the web toes have an impact on anything? I don't think design-wise right now. Cray will have to get into the template to figure out ranges and stuff to know if we'll see flesh colors on the toes or where.
Yeah, they may have an impact on design, but that'll be a Cray question as we get closer to it, and she's sorting out things like the ranges, like Dunn said. As per like game mechanic, no, but I do think these are slated to be patients, right?
Currently, unless my other crazy goes off like it does.
This does every now and then. I think these are slated for patients. So given that each group is getting 3 more, each build group is getting another brawny, another patience, and another clever, right? And right now these are slotted for patients, but you never know. They could go clever.
All right. Is this still a thing? For the people listening, it is the sketch of a bat Toko concept from a while back.
Did you ask this question?
No, I did not. Somebody else asked it. They just couldn't put it in questions because of the attachment.
I'm going to get there. Give me some time. Okay. So that is the Lutavi. Now we're going to move on to the modest build that we have gotten concepted. This is the Kjarl. I call it the Kjarl. You call it the Kjarl. That's fine, but I call it the Kjarl. This is our big cat Toko. It's in the modest group because it is about just slightly bigger than a standard Toko. It's got all those cat features. And if you're sitting there going, oh, I kind of hope to be a little more cheetah, this is the baseline that you're going to use to make your normal standard edits to get where you want to be. Okay. Gone with kind of like, is this lion tiger build?
Didn't we end up more leopard? I'm trying to remember what we told Tina.
Yes. So
I
this,
gotta go look at the folder. Give me a minute.
but this is our big cat Toko. This is the Jarl. I'm such a fan of it. I love them. And they've got the fluffy front paws. They're a little more flat backed, and then they've got their big mane. So this one looks especially lion-esque. Oh my gosh, this one Barbary is 100% just going to be a lion.
Oh yeah, didn't Tina do us a sketch?
Yeah, this is just gonna look like an absolute lion. I am so excited for this one. People have been asking for it forever, and he didn't make the last cut, but it was really, really close the last time round. So of course this time round we're gonna do the Jarl, and we have it. And the Jarls are they like what were they? Were they proud? Were they majestic?
I have to go put the scientific name back through Wiktionary. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Solarsha.
I'm trying to remember what our word for them was. If a admin remembers it, you can shout it out in the chat.
Meanwhile, Dunn is typing at the speed of...
We do have scientific names for these guys. Lutavi is... Give me a second. I gotta zoom in on my stuff. Lutavi is Vivis. And Vivis meant...
Lively. Or came from lively.
The Jarl is... Lithe. Okay.
Dexterity, etc.
Yeah. Solarity?
Solarsha?
Solarsha?
I don't know. I don't speak Latin.
T-I-A. How do you get sh out of that?
You don't speak Latin.
Uh-huh. And you speak so much Latin.
I really don't.
That's what I thought. Okay. That being said, that is our...
Thank you, Kat.
What was it?
And I kept just linked the Wiktionary.
Okay. And let me go ahead and do the nat main of that. Yes. And this is when it actually... I think that's why I think they're tiger builds.
Yeah, I think it ended up more... In the folder, we had jaguar, lion, and tiger.
Yes.
And looking at the heavier build, I think jaguar and tiger were the ultimate winners of things.
It might have been regal. Well, it's not majestic because something else. It might have been majestic. Could be regal.
Nope, it was dexterity.
No, that's what we named the thing after. There was a different word in the conversation.
Yeah, 3 a.m. when we were putting our agenda together, I was like, we should go back through this conversation and add these notes so we remember them in the podcast. Really should have done that now, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we should have, but we didn't. So this is Jarl, and we were definitely going for a big cat feeling. We did not want it to feel like a house cat. There's no small cat. It is lions, tigers, jaguars, big. And yeah, we're absolutely going to start in on Cray about getting rosettes and things of that nature. Will you stop it? What? She hasn't agreed to it. I'm not promising. I said I'm going to start.
Okay, come here. HubSpot has been in Verma for 2 fucking years.
You know that you have a microphone right fucking there.
I leaned away from the microphone. There's no way they heard that.
I don't know. I bet somebody heard that.
Nobody's reacting, so nobody heard that.
They're on a delay, like a 30-second delay. See? We'll see what happens in a moment. All right.
I don't think anyone heard me. I don't know if I believe you, Furion.
Furion, type it to me. I'll tell you if you're right. All right.
Oh, no, wait. Cray is... No, I can't tell. I can't tell if it's just admins fucking with me or not. Oh, no.
Okay.
Also, Cray, you chop on that. I mean, I'm sorry. That was very rude. I'm sorry. Oh, no.
You've been watching too much football with me.
I have.
All right. So now we're going to hit the next one in our list called the Vostag. The Vostag is concepted out to be a hefty build. A Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to click the button and see what happens. Meet the Vostag. I believe they were stoic or proud or majestic or something of that.
They are regal in that.
Yes. Um, so this is one of our most experimental of the first circle. When we were doing our first lines, we wanted to have one that would be exceptionally well received, which was the Lutavi, one that we knew was very well wanted, which was the Jarl, and then one that lived much further outside of our expectations. So this is not a deer Toko, though. This is an elk Toko, all right? With the big antlers. It has paws, not hooves. We went through many rounds of sorting out exactly how we wanted this to work, how we wanted it to come together. I'm going to talk about the antlers in a moment. Now, this is one that I looked at initially and was like, bull. But honestly, a couple weeks in, at this point, looking at it, I'm like, yeah, no, I see the Toko. It's a Toko with antlers, and it's a Toko with paws, not hooves. We had a moment where we looked about doing hooves, but we decided against it. We wanted to keep those Toko paws and features. It's got fangs. They're actually quite cute. I'm pretty happy with how the face came out as well now. I know people have wanted horns forever, and I am one of the biggest opponents of it. I don't want horns on Tokos. Compromised to antlers here, so that we can have these. I'm not. There's a lot of reasons for it, but like I just here, and what we're doing with the antlers is find your words. The antlers are optional and they are not gender linked. When we initially posted this to the admins, that was the biggest thing that had people up in arms. What are you doing about that? What are you doing about that? Totally understandable. I had not said up front, I don't think these are going to be gender linked. And now I stand by, these will not be linked to gender. It won't be like females have none and males have them. Not doing it. Don't care. Caribou all have antlers. So these all have antlers. So you can turn the antlers on or off. It is your choice. Okay? We're not making it special in that respect. You can turn them on or off as you please, and they are not linked to gender. We just feel like that's probably going to be design-wise the thing that makes everybody happiest. As far as colors and all that go, we will talk it through with DC when we get there. But this is the Vostag. I actually love its name. I think it has a really cool name. And let me give you the Sphinx Vostag as well. So that's it in Sphinx format, where you can see a lot more of the hump. A lot of people were kind of upset about the hump up front too, but we reminded everyone it's not a little white-tailed deer, it's an elk. We wanted this to be like a megafauna. Like, have you ever seen the skeletons of those Irish elks? The massive ones with the giant antlers that are longer than like me, the wingspan of my arms. They're massive. So we decided if we were going to take something like a deer or an elk and put it into a predator species like a Toko, we wanted to go more megafauna. And that's why they're in the hefty category. Now, given the size of the antlers and fitting them on there, they ended up a little smaller than we initially expected, especially if you don't have the antlers on. We'll decide if perhaps they're moving back into modest, and we'll take one of the modest concepts and move them up into hefty, because there's some of them we could absolutely pull them up and have them take the size. But here is our Vostag. This is our most experimental. I'm sure plenty of you are feeling feelings. I see Shiver just being like, I need it, right? Said people are going to feel big things about this one. Big. And it's possible you might go, I don't care. That's also okay. There's nothing wrong with you. But here are our new 3 builds that we have done the full concepting on. We have gotten the lines on. We likely won't be doing many more changes unless something is drastically and irrevocably wrong, right? But these have gone through a couple levels and we've named them all. I'll be looking to get the concepts of the next 3 soonish. And then we'll start talking about mains and when are we going to release one of these. My money is on we're probably going to do the Lutavi first. Okay, do we have questions?
Yeah, we do. Sorry. The anxiety of you doing this one just,
I know. Like, this could end up being absolutely nothing where everyone's like, what are you talking about? It's absolutely fine. We trust you. But at
I
this
felt the same way when you the proposal in front of the managers for the 9. I was like, "Are you sure about this? Oh, they're gonna hate this. Oh no, I'm gonna go have an anxiety attack in the corner."
And then everyone trusted us, and like we're like, oh, that's right. The group trusts us not to do horrific and crazy things. Well, horrifically bad crazy things. Okay, lines or questions.
Do the front legs bend like a moose or more like other Tokos? I think these were still designed. No, I think that is designed like a moose. It looks like the hinge.
And that looks like it's hinged like a moose to me.
I haven't done my deep dive into how to draw these yet.
Yeah, that looks like a moose to me.
Okay, next question is, I'm going to read this, but then I'm going to you. Why no horns on Tokos, if I may be curious? And you may have 30 seconds to soapbox.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to tell them. Because I know...
Well, one of the things we can't really, because it's talking about another game and upsetting another game by doing it bluntly.
Yeah. There's another game that's exceptionally protective of this, and they have done stupid things about it in the past, and we're just not interested in getting involved in that. And you can already have horns on Tokos. You just have to add a strap.
And let's be real, the straps be minimal.
The straps are minimal. But part of it is I am frustrated with people who don't accept no. Part of it is I am very frustrated with the contingent of people who are trying to force feed this down my throat, whether I like it or not.
It has it has come up in every conversation, and we do normally listen. But when we gave the explanation of we don't want to do this with this particularly protective, litigious group, thoughts on it, we continued to hear about it for the next, I don't know, what are we coming on, 8 years?
8 years. Yeah.
So
maybe 7. But the lack of accepting an answer has definitely frustrated me into a corner of not wanting to change my mind.
So I think that's the safest
That's the
way
safest
to
way
explain
to say it.
Okay. Will the antlers be customizable with a large item to suit other species or fantasy stuff and only on this build? Yes, only on this build. Cycling back to that for the one we just answered.
Absolutely. Only on this build. And yes, you'll be able to do some customization. There's talk about having like a small, medium, and large antler that'll go on all of them.
We just have to be really careful about that, because then it means every main needs to be edited around every iteration of the antlers we do.
Right. Or can we make some that you don't have to edit around all the deal with it? So the answer is I would like there to be some options for people. I need to make it so that I don't end up costing myself a ton of money and time every time I want to do a new main. But absolutely, you will be allowed to customize them.
Have we ever shown off the build checklist?
I don't know if you have, but you feel free to take a screenshot and drop it in chat.
Yeah, let me go do that so everybody knows what we have to like check off every time we do a build or a main.
Oh yeah, it's a massive list of things every time.
And it just keeps growing.
Mm-hmm.
Checklist for PSDs.
Yes. Okay. So that's. Let me think.
Great. Yes, we will have clear rules on what kind of antlers things are okay versus what aren't.
Correct. And I suspect that we're going to see lots of really cool decor, like beads and such, hanging from these antlers, and they'll look really cool. They're a big spot for doing some really cool decor on Tokos. As I said, when I first saw them, I had a moment of like, whoa, that's a lot. And then as I'm looking at them now, I'm like, actually, I really like them. I warmed up to them quite a bit. I like how their antlers look. I like their faces, their carnivorous littlenesses. Their carnivorous little fangs and all of that. I ended up being really happy with the Vostag. And then I can't remember who came up with the name. It was a blur of a day. The admins were so done with me by the time we made it through Vostag. Okay. They were just like, holy crap. I was like, yeah, welcome to naming things. There's a lot that goes into this. But somebody came up with the name, and the first time I heard it, I was like, I want it to be that, but I'm going to have to, like, get us there so that everybody else agrees it's a good name. But it was a good one. Lutavi, we went around a lot of different things, and eventually everyone was just happy with Lutavi. It was the vibe we were after. Hjarl took twice as long as Lutavi to name, and then somebody dropped Hjarl in chat.
I missed a spoiler in my own goddamn screenshot.
Toko New Years.
No. No.
So somebody posted Hyarl, and that was it. We were done. We had spent twice as long. The moment that word hit the chat, we were like, that is it. It was lightning. That's a Hyarl. And then Vostag, we didn't spend as long on Vostag. We had lots of different options, and that one rose to the top fairly quickly. The Lutavi just... There were so many good names. And then Hyarl took the longest, but it was like lightning when I saw that name. The entire chat was just like, yes, that's the one. So what'd you spoil?
Spoil the physical traits that are in progress. Jesus.
All right. Fair enough.
I was keeping such a close eye on your screen and your stuff, and I didn't even look at my own screen. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. So for all of you who are like, so what spoilers did you put in there? I put in all of the Sphinxes and one more. Those are the ones that I added. She's been very chill about the Sphinxes because she was like, oh, okay, that's not a huge deal.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So,
Besides, what can I say now? I just spoiled 3 fucking physical traits.
Yep. So, I said there was 9. What else is coming? Boom. Let's talk about it.
Wait, did you do the full folder list?
Kind of. Kind of is the answer. You'll just have to live with it. Okay, so let's talk about my concepts and what I think I want to do. You have already seen Big Cat, you have seen Elk, and you have seen Otter. Those were like the code names of what it was. Let's talk about the rest of the Hefty first. Oh gosh, I don't know if I can pronounce these things.
One's French, don't look at me.
I don't know if I can say that. How do we say that?
Which one? Androsarchus?
Androsarchus? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do some maybe prehistoric dino-y themed Tokos to go in our list. One of which will be the Jevadon? Androsarchus? Yep. I know.
It's a werewolf.
It's a werewolf.
Mixed with a...
Reptile?
No, it's mixed with a megafauna thing that also has a big hulking werewolf silhouette.
Yes. So they're massive. They're big-jawed creatures, and we're going to keep them quadrupedal because, that's how our Tokos work. We're not willing to go out of quadrupeds right now. Well, we kind of are. But so we're going to have these big jaws, big monstrous Tokos. We have things in the folder, and we have run this by everyone. I think they're going to be fun because they're going to invoke a very monstrous feeling while being in that hefty category. And not the way that, like, Tokotas make you, like, oh gosh, a bear, I'm going to die. This is more... It's not cryptid because these are all based on real things. They are. But they'll be very cool, like, hulky creatures with giant jaws mixed with Tokos. I'm very excited for them. The other one that's going to be in the hefty category is bats. And you're like, wait, what? So that sketch came through earlier. You can see it in questions. What we're doing with bats is we are turning them a little Game of Thronesy dragony, where they've got the hands with the wings on them, and people kept talking about, oh, I really want to fly, to have like flying handlers. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. But you know how that's not going to work? If we make them tiny, they won't be able to carry anybody. And I know realism is only so far. So what we're doing with the bats is the bats are the other hefty build. They're going to be massive bats, bat-shaped Tokos the size of small dragons that people can fly upon. That's why they're up in hefty, so that they are strong enough to do the cool things that everyone wants to do. So we put them up there. So the hefties are going to be the bats and the Androsarchus. Okay? Big jaws, big things, and the Vostog being the other one that's in there, the megafauna. So we've definitely run into they're not going to be fantasy creatures. We're not making an actual dragon. All of them are based on actual things. They're just, what would they need to be to physically do the thing we want them to do? right? So that's what's going on there. That's my concepts for the rest of the hefty builds. I'm really excited about all of them. I think my love for Tokos has always lived in the hefty builds, though.
I don't know, because the tiny one of the new tiny builds has you because
But it wasn't my idea. I just said yes to it. Well, that's not true. It was my idea, and I said yes to it.
I'm talking about this one.
Oh, I know. It was my idea, and I said yes to it.
Well.
So that's there. Moving into the modest category. In modest, we will be including. I'm just making sure I'm saying the correct thing, so I don't give you the wrong. We're going to do a dino-inspired Toko. Lots of different prehistoric things came through that build contest. And I've generically called it Dino for the moment. I grabbed a bunch of those sketches. I put them into the folder. We're going to do something that's a little dinosaur themed. Is it going to be a little more raptor, a little less? I don't know for sure exactly yet. But we're going with a dino themed one. We'll get an artist, and we're going to keep it in the modest. They're not a big like Brachiosaurus, Stegosaurus-y thing. We're not going that far, but we are doing something that's got a reptile base under it. Toko base with a reptile on top of it. I don't know if that means we're going to have scales, because it turns out dinosaurs actually had feathers anyway. We don't know if we're going to have feathers either, but we're going to experiment into this. Admittedly, I do think that modest is actually our most experimental category for some of these. So we're going to do a dino-themed one. We'll see what that really means. You'll see sketches as we get there. I don't have a firm image in my head of what I think it's going to look like just yet, so I will be relying on my super cool artists to help us develop that out. And we're looking at doing some sort of whale, orca, shark Toko. Someone put in like a whale concept, and I was like, it's really interesting, especially because we are moving to some aquatics with like the otter. So this is just a step further into the land of aquatics. We were talking about very long Toko, maybe a very specialized sort of tail, something that's clearly a Toko that lives in the water sort of thing. But still a Toko. Absolutely got paws and claws and all of that as well. Probably also going to have webbed toes. We'll see. So we're going to gamble at this. We're going to do some sort of whale, shark, orca sort of thing. There is conversations of it having some sort of fin. We'll see how far we're willing to go with that, because it still needs to feel like a Toko.
Somebody brought it up when Jill showed the thing. Yes, we are looking at the evolution of whales from land-based into aquatic to figure out which stage of that we want to pull from the most for this.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of our stuff is bizarrely based in reality in somewhere. Even green Tokos. That's the thing from sloths.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's called moss.
That's why it's called moss. And then finally, in the land of the tiny builds, which I'm actually pretty happy with all of them too.
You're talking about one of those tiny builds is your absolute fave.
It probably will be my absolute favorite. Okay, so I'll start with the simpler one, because right now you're playing the elimination game, so you already know what the last two have to be then. So we're going to do a Colty raccoon. I believe I said 5-6 years ago, two fan favorites were the otter and the raccoon. There was literally no reason not to do it this time. So we have the OG raccoon sketch and the couple Colty ones that came in as well. And we're going to be doing something like that. So I expect they'll be a little bit chubby. They'll probably be very cute. They might have slightly longer toes because, hands. But they won't be bipedal. They will still be quadrupeds, just maybe slightly more dexterous toes going on there. We're going to start concepting it out. I need to pick the next 3, and raccoon will likely be the next one in the tiny build that I go to start getting the lines for. Once I have the gnat and the sphinx lines, I can then give those to more than just the one artist to get mains done, okay? And that's why we start there. And if getting all 9 of them done while I've got the money to do it is the... So that's the Colty raccoon. It's not going to surprise you much. It was something that people were asking for last time. It was just a step too far. It absolutely fits into the wild circle, especially when you hear me saying, I'm going to make whale Tokos, right? And then finally, cat, dragon, bat. Think like a little luck dragon
Mixed
cat
with
bat thing.
Mixed with that really cute bat that Kep dropped once.
Yeah, okay, so I had two bat sketches. I had the dragon-esque ones from Tina, and I had the adorable little bat ones from Kep. And when we were going through this and we were like, okay, we need to figure out one more tiny build, I went, why can't I have two bat builds? Okay? They're going to be two very different bat builds. I'm giving you bat riders, and now I'm giving you shoulder bats. They're not going to be that small. But the point being, the sketch from Kep is in this folder. And we're talking maybe something a little luck dragony, maybe a little longer, a little more noodly. We're working it out. We know it's it's an experiment, just like the Vostag was. So we'll have to go through many iterations. We kept ourselves a little easy on this first run. We're like, Otter, here's basically a finished sketch. Please refine it. Cat, we know what everyone means when we say cat. And then Vostag being the elk came together. And a lot of these are probably going to require some revisions. And we'll have them where we announce them as well. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. You are absolutely allowed to question me. Don't be a dick. Go for it.
Everybody is just so tickled with you. Why can't I have two bats? Why not?
Can't I have two bats?
Okay, questions. Whew. Will the added change the rules on physical edits in DC? Thinking of Tokos that are edited to look like otters, lions, and would therefore be close to the new breeds. DC will have more formalized rules as we actually get into these. Just like with Vostag, we're going to kick off with antler rules and stuff like that. So that will be a little bit more structured as we get to the release of these.
Everything that currently exists will be grandfathered in, though.
Yeah, you never have to go change something that we passed previously.
Exactly. It's the same way that, like, people would do certain things that look a lot like our variants now, our main variants. Oh, yeah, we don't kick them out. They don't have to change. They existed before that. We don't require people to do that. You had a good idea. We agreed. We ended up making it a thing. It'll be the same here. Plenty of people have cat tokos. They will not have to go and redesign their tokos. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. We all move on. It's just like if you want to do these things, it'll be easier to get the build.
Yeah.
You can do more.
I mean, we have some impressive ass cat toko edits as it stands.
We do.
And it's going to be crazier once they have a cat to base it with, where they can just be like, okay, it's already a cat, and now let's edit it from there.
Correct.
Instead of hitting the edit limit, just making it look cat.
Exactly. Most of those have hit the edit limit.
Okay. Can we get some new prompts that use the semi-aquatic breeds in a very specific, these tokos are semi-aquatic way? Yes, we will be looking at that. I mean, all tokos can technically go aquatic, so it would just be expanding the prompts because there's no reason a toko can't go do something in the ocean. We all go diving.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Also, comp manager said yes.
Oh, see, perfect. Then, yeah, we can absolutely do more things like that. So that'll work for us.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes, we do. Sorry.
I expected. I was like, if I have no questions on this, I'm going to be so confused.
Which one do you guys think will be the...
It depends on your definition of cute. If we're talking like cutesy cute, my money's on the cat dragon bat.
The luck dragon. Personally, my personal taste, it's going to be the werewolf build that we're not calling a werewolf build.
It's not a werewolf build. And that would be a spooky cute.
No, that's cute.
So, okay, there's qualifiers on this. If we're talking like cutesy in the way that people are talking about small and squishy things are cute, it's the luck dragon. If we're talking about spooky cute, because there's people who think that things with more teeth and more eyes than they should have are super cute. That's all right. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Those will probably like the werewolves. And then there's some people who, I'm like, I already saw someone go wolf deer, right? So.
I guess out of the ones that are concepted, Lutavi is the cutest, hands down. Let's be real.
Out of the ones that are concepted, Lutavi is the cutest one.
All right. Do the tiny bats have micro bat faces? I know that's very specific. I don't believe so, because face is where we keep a lot of Toko when we do these.
Yeah, face is definitely where we keep a lot of Toko, and also it needs to make sure that it can be designed upon and the ranges aren't a total nightmare.
And that we can do Roman nose and all the physical traits, because they still have to work with all the new builds.
Exactly. That's why this is a many-year plan. All right.
All right, I think we're caught up. Let me pop over to Chatter. What have you done?
So it was an accident. I was going to hide it, and then it, for some reason, decided to put itself at the top of the list, so I did the thing. What? It's Toko New Years!
I didn't approve this one.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be working towards this one.
Yeah, I know. It's behind Show Your Heart.
Didn't.
I told you there were 2 things. I promised you I would get a second spoiler for it, and I did.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. I know.
Cannot
And-
be contained.
I am an inevitable.
God. Jesus.
All right. So that
Ooh, I hit power saver. That's unusual for us on a podcast. Do we have space on the power strip?
I mean, yes. Do you have a power?
No, I gotta
cord?
go grab my power cord.
Are you sure you want to?
No, but I
Okay.
guess I need to so I can read you questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Behave. No more spoilers. I will be right back.
It's like she forgot who I am. All right. What folder do you guys want to see? Somebody say it quickly. Which one of my folders do you want to see in my list? Where's Google? Allow. And then jump over here. Where? Oh, you did. You should keep it open. Okay. So, bat. Yep, absolutely. Go. This is what I have in there for the moment. Yes, it absolutely includes Tina's big.
All right, here's the base of the...
What?
What's on your screen?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Please plug in my cord. What's on your screen?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Mm.
I'm allowed to look in the folders. They're my folders.
It's suspicious because you're on a podcast.
What? No, not at all.
Okay, it's charging. Jesus. Oh, you're screen sharing the folders, I see.
I'm probably going to get this one done in the next wave. What? They're just bats.
I took the screenshot of the folder names thinking you were going to maybe, I don't know.
Okay, first off,
Spoil
I have
the-
a screen capture that lives in here. I don't get rid of it. And secondly, I asked them, and the people in here said bat. It could have been way worse,
Yeah, I guess it could have been way worse.
right? They'd already seen that sketch.
True.
Yeah. Why would I need audio overviews of what?
AI for no reason. Let's go.
Ugh, don't get me started. Dude, every single one of my fan fusion panels, I had an anti-AI rant.
Gray.
What?
You're... Where's Alcestia? I need another dad here.
Do you think she's going to help you?
Maybe.
Daft never stopped us. I don't know why you think Alcestia will.
I don't know either.
I don't know either, yeah. Yeah, I know. Wild. Okay, so that is my build plan. That is my massive announcement for 2026. I'm kicking off another years-long endeavor.
As you do.
Told you I wasn't retiring.
Oh no, Alcestia just said I like spoilers. Oh.
Oh, gosh.
I don't remember.
Look, Daft didn't stop us either. Daft would be, I can't even say a voice of reason. She'd just be like, hey, we can't do all of these this year, so please just make sure that your spoilers are relevant to what's coming next. Oh, okay. Totally fair. All right. Whew. All right. So let me see. Okay. I have just like one more little to-do section. Nothing too crazy. Let's talk about Tokos and where we're going. So, first things first, we are creating anniversary badges, and they will be on your profile.
No, they'll be on your awards page. I guess so I could make you put them on your profile.
Aren't they on your profile awards page?
Yeah, but are you
Okay.
talking about the profile? No, we'd have to reflow it with.
We'd have to reflow it. I hate reflowing that page. They're going to be on your profile awards and achievements, not your Tokos. Okay, that's what we're trying to say. But we have artists building us all these really cool little things. Something that was really amazing in the year that it's related to. We're going to have one for each year that we've been open. They're in progress right now. These 5 are finished. I'm very, very happy with them. We'll be wiring them into the system soon, and then every year we'll have another like award or a anniversary badge with something really cool that happened in the previous year.
Yeah, for these ones, going around from the top left corner, that's 2025's badge featuring Gator for Odonix's release. Over in the next corner, that was the left-hand corner. Jesus. Okay, Boone is there for. Jesus, I am terrible at this.
I know you are.
Boone is there for 2015. That's the release of Tokies. In the center, we have 2019 for the lore event. Down in the left-hand corner is 2017 for Akota's release, and across at 2021 is Dakino's release. Yes. I don't know. That did not seem like that came out smoothly at all.
I'm getting one of these that's going to have Tokotas release on it. 2018? Is that the one?
Yeah, it's on my desk, but I don't know if you want it on my desk anymore. I've been staring at the sketch for a month.
I guess I could just hire someone else to do it and make you do more important things.
Yeah, probably. It'll probably look nicer.
Okay, so
we have 5.
I made this joke. It was a joke. I made
No,
it
that's
like
not what I
2
was
months
referencing.
ago. I
God.
made this joke 2 months ago as we made friends with more really cool artists who do all of their own book art. Okay? And I looked at Dunn, the better artist between the two of us, and I was like, why isn't your art up to the snuff so that we can do this too? And it was a joke. My body language, my word choice, because I didn't even quote myself correctly there, my tone, everything about it was a joke about how these are better artists than us and we are jealous of their skills. I have not lived
That
it
was not
down
at all what I referenced
for
at
months.
remotely.
Yes, it was.
Incorrect.
Yeah, it was.
No, I was just, oh, God damn it. I don't digital art at all.
Never gonna live it down. I regret the words. I've apologized for it twice.
But that's not even what I was.
I don't believe you.
It wasn't.
I don't believe you. At this point, never gonna live it down. So, anniversaries, yay! And then we would like to acknowledge that last year was hard. The year before that wasn't much easier.
Most of the 2020s hasn't been great.
Most of the 2020s has been really hard for people, especially as so many of us grow up, you know? Plenty of us were teenagers. I don't think I was, but plenty of us were teenagers when we started Tokos, and we've grown up with this game. Many of us are still here. Some of us have come and gone and come back again. That's how it works, but it has been a hard couple of years. And we just want to acknowledge that as a community, how difficult that it's been. And Toko New Year's is a good time to do that because we've made it one more year around the sun. We are dealing with a lot of things, and this is not like America specific. America's going through it a little bit right now, but it's not America specific. Other countries have their stuff going on. We're a globally connected world. Things that happen in one place affect everyone. And I know we've all been feeling it. But hey, you made it another year, right? Like, you found a place where we deal with our problems. You have support. And we're happy to have you here. We're probably in for another long year. The reason that Dunn's on my case about stop talking about the World Cup is I am reveling in the people from tons of diverse nations coming together and doing wonderful, beautiful things for each other. Yes, there's some bitter rivalries, but at the end of the day, everyone is still laughing. Everyone is doing new things. I watched two guys from Britain get told not to use a fork and knife to eat barbecue, which, in all fairness, we don't have barbecue there, so I kind of understand how that happened. But,
The
like,
utter bewilderment of, what do you mean lightning strikes the ground and I can't be in the pool?
yeah, Australians learning about lightning, and then it strikes the ground, you can't be in a pool. Germans in Waffle House at 3 a.m. You know, I'm overindulging in it because it is beautiful. It is proof that in the grand scheme of things, we all like each other. We all have more things in common than we don't. We should respect people for their differences, right? Their differences are what makes them. Embrace them for it, even. And in a rough couple of years, it's been really nice to see some just global level of joy come back. God knows we've needed it. So, hey, Tokos is happy that you're here. We'll be here next year. We're still working on things. We're not going anywhere. We are quite happy to be doing what we're doing and to constantly be evolving. People will come and go in our community someday, not today. I will step down. It's inevitable.
No, it's not, because you couldn't not do this at this point. Even when you're burned out, you're still like, how do I fix this?
Yes, but for the moment, someday I will step down and somebody else will take my place. It's just the nature of things. We'll just try and be sure that that person has our ideals, our values, our wish to do things. We are fully aware that we could have monetized Toko years ago. We really could have. And some people are like, oh, it's pay to win. No,
There were people who
sweetheart.
told us we should, and we said no.
Yeah, this is not pay to win. There are absolutely people who are like, here's an entire plan of how you could monetize this and you could make at least half your living, if not more, off of this. And my answer was, fuck you. Okay? It wasn't even no thank you. It was, fuck you, get out of my face. Because that's not what we want to do. We could. We're never going to. Well, I'm in charge, we are never going to. Yes, we have sales. Yes, we have merch up for that. But dudes, we make like $2 on those t-shirts, okay? If that. We're not...
With shipping, we might not be making anything these days.
Yeah, with shipping, we might not be. Like, we made them because people said they wanted them. And that's true of basically all of our merch. We sell our ebook for 99 cents because Amazon doesn't allow us to do it for free. Okay?
And being in KU means we can't give it to people outside the Amazon ecosystem.
Correct. Which is how we ended up at 99 cents. This is all for the joy. This is for the laughs. This is for, the getting along. The reason I'm overindulging the World Cup is because I'm seeing everyone in the world get to experience what I get to experience in Tokos, right? Lots of diverse people coming from diverse backgrounds together and just building a kick-ass little place that we all learn, get along, practice our skills, and we fiercely defend it against people. Because we've had some yahoos this year. Whew! We've had some yahoos. And we have to continue defending our space. And there's some of us who do it with kindness. There's some of us who do it with loudness. And both of them are needed for what's going on. So it's just, I want to recognize it's been a hard year. I want to recognize that we're still here. That we're thankful and grateful that you choose to spend your time with us. And we'll be here next year. The same way that we said it last year. And here we are with more crazy new fun things. So just my gratitude for your time. You could go do anything and you chose to be with us. And I appreciate that, even when I am being a foul-mouthed and belligerent individual today.
Are you about to announce what I think you're going to announce?
I don't know. What was I going to announce? Oh, yeah.
Well, give it a minute. So to answer a question that has literally been running through podcast chatter since we started this podcast with our pretty splash screen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, for this year, we're releasing the Tokotas background. Let me actually slide back on up to the splash screen. This is the Tokotas background. We've gone back and forth for a little bit, and I said, you know what? The last couple of years has sucked. Everybody enjoy a high-quality, free background. Tokotas will be free.
I will put it up. This.
Yep. So no stone, Nothing like that needed. I don't want your money. Just go enjoy our luxury gas stations in Tokos.
Which is oddly World Cup themed now, huh?
It really is, because Buc-ee's is doing more than any ambassador I've seen in the last couple decades.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, if you're on social media and you're seeing all of that, that is what peaceful diplomacy looks like. That is what cultural exchange looks like. That is what is supposed to be happening around the world when we just do nice things for each other, where the people of Japan go and pick up litter. Why? Because it needed to be done, and they're trying to be good guests. Where it's, last fun fact. Did you know that Boston and Glasgow became sister cities over that weekend? Like, for realsies. That happened. They're building statues to each other right now. It's wild. But that's what it's supposed to look like. And I'm glad everyone else is getting a taste of what we always get in Tokos. Because we are a global game. Whether we play in English, but we are a global game.
Blows everyone's minds when we're like, oh yeah, we run this game. It's in like this many countries, this many players. And they're like, what?
We have more countries and players than some AAA rated games. Okay? So I'm just proud of our community. I'm proud we held it together. We keep our space intact and welcoming. And other ARPGs have come and gone in our time, and more will come and go in our time.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. And we're happy to be here. I guess last call for questions, and then I'm going to go have breakfast.
We had breakfast. It's called coffee. The millennial breakfast of choice.
Okay, I'm going to go have my properly British second breakfast.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Let's see. How do we gas up a toast?
I kind of assume that there's water in those. Right?
It's a hydration. Oh my god, hydration break.
It's a hydration break.
God, Jesus. No, now I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, those are just for advertisers. But I guess England's pretty happy for them right now. Them and their poor saunas.
Let's see. Merch Convo, remind me. Can we get a t-shirt with the same Aurora pattern colors as the TokoCon t-shirt, but without the TokoCon image, as a more general t-shirt with the Aurora pattern, or more similar? Like the jerseys? Yeah, we've been working on jerseys. We had the jerseys.
I tried to make sports team jerseys for us.
For all the factions, but unfortunately...
It didn't go well.
We tried to branch out from just our Toko artists because everybody was working on things. Everyone was on builds or on mains or on this or...
And it was a very special skill set.
So we went to go find someone who did this and got back AI slop.
Yeah.
And it really killed the vibe for that particular project.
Yeah, and it's so hard to find something on Fiverr at this point that I can guarantee is not AI.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would love to do them. I especially wish we could do, like, faction jerseys, World Cup style right now. Like, I'm so hyped. I would spend money on it. But I can't find an artist to get it done.
Yeah.
And I don't have the skill. I'm not good enough. I don't have the skill to make those. I'm trying, but it's just so far out of my wheelhouse. The shirts that exist are the level.
You're not allowed to answer this. But I read it, so I'm going to checkmark it. Why did I green heart instead of checkmark these? Oh, gosh.
Do you think they mean, like, what build we're going to concept next or what build we're going to release?
Oh, okay. You can't answer release, but I guess you can answer concept.
Probably going to do them bats. I'm probably going to do them dinos. And I'm probably going to do them raccoons. And it's Lutavi. Lutavi's coming first.
Having two mics sucks. I can't actually silence you.
You can't silence me. Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. All right, anything else?
Jill, please tell me about Scotland's national no anthem. I need to know now. I don't know if we want this on the podcast because it's so intensely you.
Okay, I'll keep it really quick. Scotland does not have a national anthem. It did have one when Scotland became part of the United Kingdoms, which is 4 countries for those who don't know: Northern Ireland, England, Wales, and Scotland. It technically was given, or forced upon, a national anthem of the United Kingdoms, which is God Save the Queen, also known now as God Save the King because of, they have a king. What people didn't realize is there is a line inside of that song that they don't sing very often. They don't usually use that verse, but there's an entire line about crushing rebellious Scots Can you imagine how an entire country felt about that when it's in their national anthem? Yeah, like rebellious Scots. So it was forever a contention, big contention. And finally, the English Parliament went, okay, you know what? Because we have refused like 3 times to vote that line out of the song, we're going to let you pick whatever national anthem you want. Go make your own national anthem that you're going to use at these events because we don't always play together. There's not a Britain team, if you noticed. There's an Irish, an English, there's a Welsh, but they don't make it, and a Scottish team for all of these things. We don't even compete together in the Olympics half the time. Well, we kind of do. The Olympics will do it, but like World Cup, never. So they said go and do that, and then our parliament at the time went, I don't think we can pick a song that encompasses Scotland that's not politically motivated, and we don't want our song to be politically motivated. So they tried to put it on the people, and the people couldn't decide. Like a vote couldn't come together to make the decision. So Scotland decided we're just not going to have a national anthem. So we technically don't have one. What that means is for things like the World Cup, we can technically use any song. However, most of the time, we use Flower of Scotland. So that's what you heard at the World Cup. And in Boston, they set a record at the stadium when the Flower of Scotland came on in Scotland versus Haiti for their national anthem. It registered at 125 decibels of sound. That is as loud as a rock concert and only a few decibels below a jet engine taking off next to you. It is the threshold when pain begins. So, yeah. That is how we have no national anthem, and that we are wild in that way. And it does technically mean that someday, if we felt like it, we could use No Scotland, No Party, which is a real song.
It is. I didn't realize this the entire time we were talking about it, but it's a song.
It is a song. It's one of our unofficial anthems, and it's called No Scotland, No Party. And you're like, what? I'm like, no, it's real. It's so real. We don't have an official World Cup song. We just have a ton of unofficial songs, and that is one of them. Where is my... All right.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just putting up my last spoiler for the day.
What spoiler?
You can see it. It's on the screen now.
I don't know if it is.
It'll be in a moment. They asked me about the non-anthem. I told them about it, and because they asked me such a sweet question about my own heritage, I went ahead and gave them one more spoiler.
God, Jesus, you... How did you know they were talking about enamel pins and chatter?
The Toko hive mind?
God.
So, yeah, Tokos will be doing pins.
God, Jesus.
Now, we're going to have to do as a Kickstarter. We're looking to do maybe like 3 or 4 at the most up front. And then if it's super successful, we can do more. Pins are expensive. We have to buy them in advance. We have an artist, as you can see. She is putting us together some really cool pins.
Since you've spoiled this, it's Fantasy. Fantasy does lovely pins if you go look at her stuff.
Yeah, we take her pins to Conf with us. They sell really well.
God, how did you... I approved so many things.
Toko New Year's. And I have behaved since January.
I know.
I have behaved since January, not spoiling my 9 new builds.
Mm.
And all that pent-up frustration has come out in this.
Jesus.
All right. Okay, so yes, no, we have new pins coming. Those 2, I think, are approved designs. And we're trying to come up with 1 more. And then we're going to do a little Kickstarter to get pins.
I guess we can take podcast feedback for the moment. We were avoiding doing a deity pin with this because we were like, we should focus on the Tokos. But then what starter do you do for this? But then also Fantasy's kind of like, well, IPAC is iconic. We really should do IPAC. So here we are. I guess tell us what you think on that.
Yep. We're looking to do 1 more pin that'll fit in the vein of this.
Something that appeals to everyone, not super hyper specific.
Exactly.
Just to start this with.
Mm-hmm. At some point, we're going to get a Tonga pin with him doing his weird, like, side pose with the rose and everything. We absolutely will need one. I'll probably do a few as stretch goals, but we're not expecting it to be a wildly crazy Kickstarter of millions of dollars.
No, this is something like we do small batches of pins,
Yeah,
at a time.
I think our goal is going to be like $300 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, there you go. So, how did you manage to fit pins in here?
Because they asked me a really sweet question and I answered it and felt like they deserved a spoiler for it, okay? Trust me, I understand that people are like, please stop talking about the World Cup. And I'm like, screw you all, I'm enjoying myself.
As you bring it back to the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Hey, no Scotland, no party.
God.
It's a good song, too. It's a banger.
It's a banger.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess any last gasps on questions?
Right. Also, I'm sorry, America. Your World Cup song is terrible.
Let's get a fucking spray bottle for the podcast.
Really terrible.
Let's be real. We were never fucking winning this. We were shocked we had a team.
Yeah, that's true. But you've won 2 games so far. But you're always going to make it out of the group stage.
Okay.
You're just not going to make it out of the round of 32.
I'm not disagreeing. Okay, we have no more questions. I think we can stop chattering their ear off.
All right.
Jesus. 2-hour podcast.
2.5 hour podcast.
I was like, we don't have enough stuff to talk about.
We do this every single time.
I
I'm
know.
like, we always have enough stuff. And I can talk about anything. I am Scottish. Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining us. I have to go and do like 3 homework assignments and take a child bowling, apparently. And then I will try and post up the journal. Worst case, it's going to be tomorrow.
We'll use our writing time to get it up tomorrow.
Exactly. All right. Love you lots. Have an awesome day.
Bye, guys.
And
Hope
remember,
you enjoyed hearing.
You're fucking amazing.